Welcome back to Once Driven, Forever Smitten. It's been a while. I've been busy doing lorry stuff. The Cavalier I took down to England a few weeks ago and it's been parked here since. It's needed some maintenance, so we're going to go and do that. Take a look at the Omega, take a flashback to the summer and see a Vauxhall Adam with a VXR engine in it, and put an engine in a Nova. Not been started for at least 2 weeks. Full of that damp inside. Way! Oh, that's where my work boots have gone. Can you think now? Now the reason that the Cavalier took so long to start there is because it's had a reek of petrol off it for a good few months now, so you should probably go and sort that out. So I'm going to go down to Dingbro and pick up some fuel hose and a few bits for this Nova. Then I'm going to go over to Brian's garage and we'll do the wheel bearing on it and sort out wherever the perished petrol hose on this. I'm actually surprised it's still running. It better not break down on the way here. It's not actually as damp inside as I thought it might have been, because the boot leaks water into it, which I need to fix as well. It feels nice to be sitting back in the sporty seats again. I know the Vectra's got heated leather, but well, they're quite flat seats, so not very nice. And as you'll find out, we'll take a look at the Omega's heated seats, because I fitted nice sporty leather heated ones and they've never worked, but we investigated the wiring a bit further and it seems to be missing the wiring. You would have thought an Omega would be completely pre-wired for all that, but mine isn't. I know it's a GLS, which was like bottom of the range at the time, but all the same. Oh, I should have just gone. These 20-mile-an-hour limits all over West Lothian are a massive pain. I tell you what, it's really nice to be back in the Cavalier again. I know that the Vectra and Omega are more modern and luxurious cars, but I don't honestly think either of them drive any better than this. I never get through these lights. Hey! I wonder how many days of my life I've spent queuing at the traffic lights at West Calder, Stonyburn and Blackburn. Probably totals up to weeks. I hope I get through now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Quick enough to put 20 limits up anywhere, they don't sort any of the bloody potholes. Dingbro, I hope nobody's at the counter because you've got to stand outside due to coronavirus restrictions. Just park here. And the car is maybe a bit damp, it's steaming up now, I've turned the fans off. You expect, no good not using them. Pile of stuff for Dingbro here. 4 CV boots for that Nova GT subframe for tomorrow, 4 spark plugs for it and an oil filter. We've got the petrol hose for the Cavalier and also a couple of bags of Jubilee clips and of course the wheel bearings. So plenty to be getting on with. gave it an oil change right at the start of lockdown. It's not a few miles, but still nice and clean, so I'll leave that. And I checked the air filter recently, that's still clear enough, so good to go under there. I'll get it up in there. I think it's this side bearing that's making the noise. Oh, it'll be that one then. You can hear that for sure. Okay. Of course, I put new discs and pads on it not long before that. The Cavalier, the strut's all one piece, there's not a 2-bolt assembly there where you can just take the bottom part of the hub off, so the whole lot's got to come out. Means we take the caliper off, take the drive shaft out, wishbone and the track rod end, which can be the most difficult bit because sometimes these can get stuck and don't come out. But I've got a new ball joint splitter which should separate that without damaging the rubber on it. Well, I think we're 19s on the bottom ball joint on these, I think. Yep, 19 mils. I think the original wishbones, which are not all that likely to find in a Cavalier unless it's really low mileage, are 18s, but these are 19s. There we go. And we just need to separate that ball joint from the strut, like so. Oh yeah, I better take the caliper off. My new Mac Tools hex bits are getting a run out for the first time in the Cavalier. I just like to point these out because they were expensive and I've not bought any tools for ages. Now I just usually shove the caliper onto the wishbone. Somebody made a comment in one of the videos letting the caliper hang PMSL, but it probably just fell. If you've pissed yourself laughing at a caliper hanging on a car, you should probably go and get some tenor men or something like that. Tap. Hit that. Wait. Up. Right, that's all easy but strip, not to the track rod end. Now with any luck, this will just woohoo! New vicious ball joint splitter. The idea of which is that hammer's on there. Screw that down, tighten it up, and then cower and wait for it to pop. Wahey! That wasn't too bad. Right, 24mm socket off the front. And that's the entire strut out. Right, so these designs of strut are basically all the same between the Mark 1, 2, 3 Astra Mark II, 3 Cavalier and Calibra. I think there's a difference between the early Mark II Cavalier ones, but they're wrought out under there, underneath the spring cup as they get older, so you've got to watch for that. These ones are alright, could probably do a clean up. Just got to go and remove the circlip for the back of the bearing now. This circlip's proper rusty, so it's probably not going to come out without a bit of a fight. I'll just try and break the rust off it. Introduce some D-block into it as well. I don't know if I've ever done the bearings in this car before. That felt like it moved there. Yeah, I think I've got a bit of movement on it. Oh, there we go. That's that one out. Now we just shove the whole lot and the bearing press out for this side. Right. Set that up, I'm going to push the hub out through the middle of the bearing. There we go. And normally you'd have to take the circlip out from the front side, but it's just popped it right out when it's pushed the hub off, so I just need to shove the rest of that bearing out, and I'm just going to use an old bearing that's just a bit smaller to push it out of the hub carrier. Dink. There we go, that's a full old bearing pressed out of the hub carrier now. I'm going to get a chisel and remove that old bit of bearing off of there. Set this into a vise, and then hopefully, wait. There's our new fuel bearing. So, two new circlips with it. What I'm going to do is pop the front circlip in, and then push the bearing in through the back. I'm just using a bearing that's a wee bit, tiny wee bit smaller than the bearing. And that's the bearing pressed hole. I just cleaned out the groove at the back for the circlip to sit in. That can just pop in there, and I'll just give it a bit of a knock in with a screwdriver just to make sure it's in the groove properly. Tap just to make sure it's seated properly, which it is. Right, I'll put the hub in it. I'm just going to use this bit of metal to sit at the back of the bearing while it presses down, and that will shove them all together. There we go. Done.
Right.
So, I'm just going to put the strut back in, straight back up from whence it came. The threads on that can just sit there. Awesome. Get a dry shaft back in it. See, because of the quality wishbones, going to stick a set of vice grips in there to get it started, because it's just, the thread's just spinning all around. And I'll probably have to use the transmission jack to push down on it. Hopefully, get it to go, which it is. Might be. Well, that's it all built up, and no more noise. No play anywhere in it either, so ideal. We'll find out where the fuel leak is now. Right, so one quick look under the back of the car and we've established exactly what's causing the fuel leak, and it's this crusty old fuel damper regulator thing, which you don't need. If that ever leaks or rots out on you, you just take it out and throw it away. So we need to take this pipe off for the back of the pump, get rid of this and replace it with a new pipe into the filter there, and that'll be that sorted. No more terrible smell of petrol, assuming that it's going to come off and not just snap. Oh, and that's a regulator burst open.
Charlie doesn't know.
It's so much better if this bolt would just have the decency to snap, but it's not. I'm going to wind out. Capture the petrol. Would be better if you sat up the way, like that for the moment. And I can just get round to this bit, unscrew it. A bit of hose, just slide it on the end of the pump there. That down, then we'll just run it round and work out how much we need to connect up with the pump, the filter, sorry. Right, new bit of fuel pipe running for the pump round into the filter, got rid of that stupid regulator, and I've expertly cable tied everything securely into place because all the proper bits have rotted out on it. Should probably get some new rubbers for there, but I'm not worried about that just now. And also my 16 valve exhaust was knocking because the rubber fell off it with my homemade mount, so I've securely cable tied that back on as well. Woohoo! Here's a better look at that regulator, the damper thing in the proper light. It's completely rotted out. That's why the car was stinking of petrol, but it would still run. If you get a leak and it starts drawing air further on, it'll start not starting. So yeah, if that happens, just throw this thing away, you don't need it.